Well, as many people had expected, today the National Legislative Assembly, which General Prayuth Chan-o-cha himself created without consulting Thai people, well, they have declared him a Prime Minister of Thailand. No surprises there, I think, because I mean it was pretty obvious from the moment that Prayuth organised the military coup d'etat against the Thai state that he would declare himself well, the Prime Minister of Thailand and assume total control of the country. What are we to make of this? Well, it should be interesting to see how the international community is going to react and what Thailand's relationship with the international community will be, bearing in mind that it looked for a while as though the international community was going to accept the coup and they were going to send out the wrong signals. But with the recent obvious collapse of the Thai economy, massive debt, low production, etc., it looks as though the international community may not be happy to rub shoulders with Prayuth Chan-o-cha, but that's still there to be seen. Whether the international community will give legitimacy to the regime in Thailand, that remains to be seen. But Thai people should be in absolutely no doubt about one thing, which is that Prayuth Chan-o-cha is completely and totally illegitimate as a Prime Minister. He is not a Prime Minister. He has simply put on the uniform of a Prime Minister, and he has gone into the Parliament where all his army buddies are sitting with a cheeky grin on their faces, and they're all pretending that they are a legitimate government of Thailand, but in fact they're not. They shouldn't be in that building. That building, the Thai Parliament, is reserved for elected members of a government. None of these people have been elected. Prayuth has been elected by the National Legislative Assembly. That means a junta, a military junta, which contains more military people than the junta in Myanmar, in Burma, ever contained. It is a military junta that has selected Prayuth as Prime Minister, and therefore neither the National Legislative Assembly nor Prayuth have any legitimacy whatsoever, and Thai people should be in no doubt about that. Okay. It's interesting to see that already the Thai press, the heavily censored Thai press, are beginning to do a facelift, a whitewashing exercise on Prayuth, describing him as a good man. He seems tough, but he's really very gentle and soft-spoken. He's a gentle person, when we all know that he has a terrible, foul temper, and that he has these awful tantrums where he breaks tables, he breaks furniture, and he goes absolutely mad. The newspapers are saying that he's an avid reader, that he's a kind person, gentle, etc. He's nothing of the sort. It's obvious from the way he speaks. He's a very low-class person. He's a military man, the typical thug who works his way up in a military with very little. With very few of the qualities that a Prime Minister should have, and it's obvious that his tenureship is going to be an absolute disaster in Thailand. I believe that during the last National Legislative Assembly meeting, Prayuth spoke at 194 words a minute, which is like a machine gun, and this guy obviously has a problem. He obviously has some type of a problem, because I mean only somebody who's sniffing cocaine can possibly speak that fast. What Thailand has here is a very, very unstable individual with a very, very erratic behavior, who has assumed total control of the nation and may possibly create more problems than he can imagine, and that Thai people themselves can imagine. We're told that Prayuth Chan-o-cha is associated with the number 1 and the number 2. Various examples. He was born on the 21st of March. He's He served with the 21st Infantry Regiment, so that's the one on the 2, etc. He is Thailand's 21st... Well, he was nominated as Prime Minister on the 21st of August, which is today, of course. He is Thailand's 11th coup Prime Minister, okay? As a Prime Minister who came into power as a result of a military coup, etc., etc. There are lots of examples where Prayuth is associated with the number 1 and number 2, etc., etc. All of these facts, of course, completely useless. What Thai people want to know is what's going to happen next. Prayuth apologists say that he's an honest man and that he's going to introduce democracy, he's going to reintroduce democracy. I think we can be absolutely sure that that is not going to be the case. Prayuth is here to stay. He's a dictator. He's always had bad intentions for Thailand. He's a dictator. He has grabbed power. He has created non-elected quangos that have selected him in the most illegitimate way possible. He has absolutely no intention of giving power back to people. He has taken that power from people at the point of a gun. He has gained the control of the country by with the authority and with the legitimacy of the king. Okay, the king is on his side, and he has absolutely no intention of handing over this power. He has worked far too hard with pro-royalist groups to destabilize the democracy in Thailand, to make it unworkable so that he could grab power. Make no mistake about it, they're not telling Thai people the truth. Democracy works very well when you don't have the army and the monarchy, the king, and pro-royalist groups undermining justice, undermining the courts, and undermining law and order. What has happened in Thailand is that there has been a conspiracy to undermine the institutions and to undermine the government and to destabilize the country. We know that. We know that Prayuth and leaders of the PAD, etc., have been working together, including Suthep Thaugsuban and Abhisit Vejjajiva, have all conspired together to destabilize the country in order to bring about a coup and to grab power for themselves. That's the truth. So when Prayuth talks about re-establishing order, he really is taking the mickey out of Thai people. It's some type of sick joke, because I mean he is the one that's responsible for the destabilization of the Thai nation, and the whole purpose of that, the whole purpose of destabilizing Thailand, was to grab power for himself and his buddies. What's coming next? Well, I can tell you. Wholesale ransacking of Thailand's inland revenue. Basically, the army are going to grab all the money, give themselves an increase in army budgets. They've already done that. Start useless schemes in which the generals can siphon off 10% here, 20% there. Corruption is going to be absolutely rife. Prayuth himself is known to be very keen on large budgets and spending money on useless airships that break down after 2 weeks. He's known to have done deals with bomb detector companies in England, which turn out to be completely fake. That money disappears and the bomb detectors turn out not to work. I mean, Prayuth is known to be completely corrupt. He does deals with companies that don't exist, and the whole purpose of all these dirty deals is to, well, steal public money. And I have absolutely no idea, I mean, I have absolutely no doubt that that will continue. I think people should be absolutely sure about that. That's the hallmark of Prayuth's dictatorship. The whole purpose is to steal public money and to keep Thai people in their place. Otherwise, martial law would have been lifted long ago, and the restrictions on the press would have been lifted long ago too. And as you can see, the very day that Prayuth declares himself Prime Minister with the help of his buddies, martial law is still very much in place. There is absolutely no reason to recognise today's ceremony and for Thai people to recognise General Prayuth as a legitimate Prime Minister of Thailand. He is somebody who has resorted to a criminal act in order to grab power from Thai people and to overthrow a legitimately elected government. Therefore, Thai people should regard Prayuth and the army as the enemies of democracy.